Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. This is Interesting Ideas for a Tuesday, and Tuesday sometimes begins with the CQ, which means we've been off for a few days perhaps, and that means CQ. That means we're calling people. That's the old radio signal which said, we would like to talk to somebody. Now, you obviously had to know Morse code to even understand that it was CQ, and then you had to actually talk to one another in a very different language. It was the language of dits and das, dots and dashes, and people got very, very good at it. They even discovered in an experiment one time that they took one of the better old guys who knew Morse code, and they took a young person who knew how to text, and they put them together and said, okay, send this message. And guess what? The guy with the Morse code sent the message faster than the younger person who was really good at texting. That actually can happen. Different languages, as we would say, different strokes for different folks. What we'd like to do today is introduce you to a little bit more of the ideas that we've been developing and how people can change. Now, on Friday, I did the Transformation podcast, and I told you about the woman who, from my days in high school, married another guy from high school, and he was killed in Vietnam, and she took that tragedy and transformed it into an incredible life well lived. But now, even in her passing, we remember that. So I really would encourage you to be inspired by going back and listening to our Interesting Ideas program from the past Friday, and a little bit of the story of June and what she was able to do. It's a class reunion kind of story, but it is deeply moving. I think you'll find it fascinating. And that's why I'm going to talk a little bit more today about just that. One of the things we have discovered in trying to decide how can people really change, and we're doing a lot of work on that, but not just change a little bit, but change quite a bit. And that would be not just a change, that might be a transformation. Not a transition, that's crazy stuff. A transformation, and how that might occur in our lives, and how we might make the conditions so that we can have significant changes in our lives without perhaps the tragedy that oftentimes causes a transformation. However, recently someone has said, remember that if you really want to change, if you really want something better in your life, if you really want something significant to change for the better in life, you better be prepared to do a little bit and maybe quite a bit of suffering. Well, on that pleasant note, I will stop the introduction and we'll talk a little bit more about something a little bit more pleasant, about some of the phases and stages of transformation. That's the idea for the program. Let's see where it goes, because it starts right now. And we are back. Now, one of the things that we tried to develop also, and it was just kind of in passing because I wanted to get on to the major theme of our story on Friday, was the fact that I've come up with this idea that, in effect, these are some of the things that we're probably going to have to understand if we want to be very conscious of bringing about transformations. And so here we go. Here were the three, maybe 4 steps that we think perhaps go into what would be called a transformation. Okay, here we go. One of the first steps will be an imagination. Yes, right. Imagination. And there are a number of things that can be said about imagination. And we found a little song which some of you may remember, which we picked up, and it's quite popular from times past, which was about the idea of imagination. Please keep that in mind, that continually ways to use your imagination will be vital. And a lot of people just simply will not understand that. They will not. People who imagine things so much are oftentimes out of touch with what is called reality. And reality is not necessarily a good thing, but that's what you are accused of from time to time. Imagination. Then fascination. And not only you imagine things, but there are certain things that fascinate you. The character in Star Trek, Spock, his word when he was surprised, which was very, not very often because he was so smart, but he would say, fascinating, fascinating. Yeah, it's different, unexpected, something perhaps quite out of the ordinary. And the old Nat King Cole song, It Was Fascination, talks about that falling in love, really falling in love, is fascinating. So imagination and fascination and falling in love. Then the next step is apprehension. Uh-oh, what might happen? I've oftentimes said that fear kills everything, and so many people are stuck in life just because they are afraid of what might happen. If they made a change, if they just quit that job, if they got out of that relationship, or if they attempted something so very new, what might happen if it doesn't work out? And that fearfulness, fearful, yeah, full of fear, that becomes a part of their life. But if you're going to be involved in transformation, you're going to also have to go through levels of apprehension. And eventually you'll come to the point where you'll move ahead, and if it truly is something that is transforming in many ways, it will deny explanation. That's why we're going to have a lot of trouble as we write things about transformation, because sometimes when it happens, it certainly happened, but we don't really have it all figured out, or why it happened, or how come it worked. It will defy explanation. So there we go. I want you to be thinking about those things because I want you to be thinking about good things, new things, powerful things. I even want you to think about spiritual and transcendent things. Right now, the Fox News analyst who was fired, Tucker Carlson, has recovered quite nicely, as many of them do if they do well. And now his touring is very much as a result that he's gone through a real transformation in his life, and he's convinced that the battles that we are dealing with, particularly in the world of politics and culture, are not political or economical or necessarily relational. He says they're spiritual. It's a different world that we're dealing with. Maybe it's the real world, as opposed to the reality world that you and I live in every day. And more on that maybe tomorrow. But there we go. And I'm going to have some fun by just taking it out with a Josh Groban song that came from the movie, and some of you may recognize it, a little bit about that wonderful thing called imagination. I'm Stan Houston. Please reach out to me, see if I can help you. I probably can in some way. Stan Houston at gmail.com. Stan Houston, H-U-S-T-A-D. If you can get Stan right, just add H-U-S-T-A-D at gmail.com. Do a search and you'll find hundreds of podcasts and videos, and one of them that you find or stumble into just might be fascinating. It might defy explanation. Who knows? It might even accidentally transform your life. Take care. All the best and blessings till next time. Be interesting. Stay interested and be interested in others. And if you do, things will go well for you. And bye for now.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in a world of my creation. What we'll see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it, want to change the world, there's nothing to it. There is no life I know to compare with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be. If you want to see magic lands, close your eyes and you will see why. Want to be a dreamer, be one. Anytime you please, and please save me one. Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look and you'll see into your imagination. There is no place to go to compare with your imagination. So go there to be free if you truly wish to be. Living there, you'll be free if you truly